You walked into a room, and within seconds, you already knew who's uncomfortable, who's pretending to be happy, who just had an argument, and who is about to leave early. You didn't ask. You didn't snoop. You just saw it. The way she laughed a little too loud. The way he kept checking his phone. The way they stood just a little too far apart. Everyone else was having a good time, but you were decoding the room like it was your job. Welcome to the exhausting life of someone who is too aware. This is your psychology. And no, it's not a superpower. It's a tax. Let me explain. You don't just hear what people say. You hear what they don't say. The pause before "I'm fine," the shift in tone when they say your name, the text that's just a little too short. You catch micro-expressions that disappear in a quarter of a second. You notice when someone's smile doesn't reach their eyes. You feel the room change before anyone says a word. And here's the thing, you can't turn it off. You've tried. You've told yourself to relax, to stop overthinking, to just enjoy the moment. But your brain doesn't listen. It's always running, always scanning, always processing. While everyone else is watching the movie, you're analyzing why the main character has trust issues based on one line of dialogue. While everyone else is enjoying dinner, you're noticing that your friend has mentioned her boyfriend 3 times, but hasn't smiled once. While everyone else is living, you're observing. It's exhausting, and nobody gets it. People tell you, you think too much, you're too sensitive, you're reading into things. But here's what they don't understand. You're not making it complicated. You're just seeing the full picture while they're looking at the frame. This didn't start yesterday. Somewhere in your childhood, you learned that paying attention was the difference between safety and pain. Maybe you grew up in a home where the mood could shift without warning. One moment, everything was fine. The next moment, someone was yelling. So you learned to read the room before you even entered it. You learned to notice when Dad's footsteps sounded heavier, when Mom's silence meant something was wrong, when the air felt different, and you needed to disappear. Your awareness wasn't a choice, it was survival. Or maybe you were the kid who got hurt by people you trusted, the friend who talked behind your back, the adult who wasn't who they pretended to be. So you started watching, not because you wanted to, but because you had to. You learned that people lie, that words don't always match intentions, and that the safest thing to do is to see the truth before it hits you. Your brain became a threat detection system. And now, years later, it's still running. Even when there's no threat, even when you're safe, even when you desperately want to rest, the system doesn't know how to turn off. Here's what nobody tells you about being too aware. You see things you wish you didn't. You notice when someone's falling out of love before they've admitted it to themselves. You sense when a friendship is ending, months before the last conversation. You feel the lie while everyone else believes it, and you can't unsee it. It's isolating. Because who do you tell who would believe you? So you carry it alone. The awareness becomes a weight, a secret library of observations that nobody asked you to collect. Here's another thing. You absorb emotions that aren't yours. You walk into a room feeling fine and leave feeling anxious, not because anything happened to you, but because someone in that room was carrying anxiety, and somehow it transferred to you. Psychologists call this emotional contagion, but for you, it's daily life. It's like having no emotional skin. Everything gets in. And people say, just don't let it affect you. As if you have a choice, as if you can just decide to stop feeling the world so deeply. Here's the hardest part. Your awareness makes you lonely. Not because you don't have people around, but because you see so much that others don't see. That gap between what you see and what others see is where the loneliness lives. You want to connect, but you're operating on a frequency that most people can't hear. And sometimes you wonder, would it be easier to see less, to just exist on the surface like everyone else seems to? You've tried to dumb it down. You've tried to ignore the patterns. It doesn't work. Because once you see, you can't unsee. So what do? First, stop apologizing for it. Your awareness is not a flaw. It's not too much. It is a depth of perception that most people will never experience. Yes, it's heavy, but it's also rare. The same awareness that exhausts you is the same awareness that makes you the person people come to when they need to be truly seen. The friend who notices, the one who understands without explanation. That's not nothing. That's everything. Second, protect your energy. You absorb more than others, so you need to release more than others. Solitude isn't antisocial for you. It's necessary. You need time to process, to empty the cup. Don't feel guilty about needing space. You're not being dramatic. You're being realistic. Third, find your people. They exist. Other people who see too much, who are tired of pretending they don't see the elephant in the room. When you find them, the loneliness quiets down, because finally, someone else sees it too. Finally, you don't have to explain. Here's the truth. You're not too aware. The world is just under-aware. Most people move through life on autopilot, seeing only what they want to see, believing whatever's convenient. You don't have that luxury. Your brain forces you to see the truth. That's not a curse. That's clarity, painful, exhausting clarity, but clarity nonetheless. So here's what I want you to remember. Your awareness is not a burden to fix. It's a gift to manage. You see what others miss. You feel what others ignore. You understand what others can't. That's not a weakness. That's depth. And the world needs people with depth. People who refuse to sleepwalk through life. That's you. And yes, it's tiring. And yes, sometimes you wish you could turn it off. But different isn't wrong. Different is just different. Now close this video. And for once, instead of observing everyone else, let yourself be seen. You've been watching the world long enough. It's okay to let someone watch over you. Before you go, tell me, what do you notice that others miss? The tone shifts, the fake smiles, the energy in a room. Drop it in the comments. And if you're exhausted from seeing too much, just comment, "I see everything." Let's see how many of us are out there, carrying the weight of awareness. You're not alone. Even if you saw that coming,